So many buses coming. We were going to the stadium, we saw it. I thought Malaysian bus, all Singapore flag. So we were shocked and we said, hey, today will be full. But we don't realize that we outnumbered the Pahang supporters. Nearly capacity is the whole of Kallang is in Shah Alam. Can you imagine?
This be number 4 now. Fandi versus Khairul.
In 1994, Singapore pulled off a stunning double victory, topping the Malaysian League and winning the coveted Malaysia Cup. This victory inspired football fans across the nation.
I knew I had to score. I knew I had to come good. It was a long season. We played a lot of games, a lot of hard games.
I told David and Malik, tonight will be our night. You know why? It falls on the 17th of December. My number, my lucky number. I have faith we will win.
It was a golden age for Singapore football, and the 4-0 victory over Pahang in the cup final marked the peak of Singapore's journey. A remarkable turnaround after being relegated to Division 2 in 1992.
For a team like us, Singapore playing in Division 2 is a wake-up call, and I think 93 was the turning point that they decided that we should get the good players back and get good foreigners.
I only came back in 93 because of Malik and Fandi. We wanted to win a trophy for Singapore. We wanted to win the Malaysia Cup together as friends and brothers.
We have a lot of stars players. Alistair, Syndrome.
1994 saw the Lions play in Division 1 again, but players like Razali Saad and V. Sundramurthy were dropped from the squad.
It was a difficult period at the start, before the start of the year, because of the uncertainty with the managers.
Former Malaysia coach Ken Warden had been brought in as head coach in December 1993.
Ken Warden was a taskmaster and worked our off.
A lot of shouting, a lot of screaming.
He literally killed us in training pre-season.
One time he said, David, why are you moving like this? You move like a whale. Oh, David very angry because it's not fair. He just came in and he had already retired. We call him back.
I retired in 92. I haven't played football for almost 2 years. You have to get your fitness back,
That was a good training for us.
We were one of the fittest teams in the league.
It set the foundation for us and
of course he left.
In March 1994, just a few months into the job and just 1 week before the league kicked off, Warden resigned. FAS Technical Director Douglas Moore stepped in with a very different approach to coaching.
Douglas Moore was more like a father to us. He know how to motivate you, know how to manage the players, even with all the star players around.
He gave us that confidence to speak to him.
The players, the best position for them to play.
We are always in a hurry to train, to go there, to start kicking ball, to play the monkey, because we want to be part of the team and everybody comes early.
There's no clique system. The youngsters will have to mix with the senior players.
Not only in playing, but outside the game.
Before, after training, we will hang out, go for makan.
We are always together.
Everybody was like family. We are family.
I was happy to see a lot of youngsters coming into the team. We, as the senior players, Malik, myself, and other players, Nazri.
The squad, we are quite balanced.
The inclusion of David gave us more confidence at the back.
Kade and the late Borhan Abu Sama were magnificent at the back for us with Jan Jung.
Dong Hai, Rafi, ID Skandar.
And myself and Fandi and the youngsters around us. You had Zakaria Awang, you had Stephen Tan, you had Silveraj, Lee Man Hon.
So when I was called up, I was quite surprised and I don't believe it. I was only about 17, 18 that time. So the very first time I came in, so I saw Fandi, Kade, Sasa Dimata, all these, Yaya Madun, all these, I was starstruck.
The Lions started strong in the league with 4 straight wins. But by mid-season, injuries and inexperience saw them drop to 6th place.
Every team that you played there, they want to beat you.
It's very hostile in the sense that when you go to the Malaysian state, I always take the corner. When I go to the corner kick, they are throwing stones and water bottle.
When we are attacking, I always go up to almost the 18-yard box, so I move around to avoid all the missiles.
There was a time where
We didn't even go to the changing room because it was smell of urine. It was so smelly that we had to change outside, and half time we stay outside. They really tried to disturb us, our preparation, and also incident. Our bus, which is Malaysian owned, was
Smash lah.
smashed by their own fans.
Yeah.
Then came a shocking reveal. In August 1994, several Singapore players were hauled up in a match-fixing probe by Singapore's Corrupt Practices Investigation Bureau. Lions forward Michael Varner was charged in court for accepting $375,000 to influence the results of 5 matches. Varner was sacked and later jumped bail and fled the country.
On the defensive line, we are always very cautious, you see, of making mistakes. So when you make mistakes, the crowd might say that, oh no, you are on the take or whatever, bribery and all that, you see. And when this issue came in on there, it disrupted the team spirit a little bit, but we are okay. We just carry on and do our job.
On the field, Singapore bounced back in the second round of the league with 12 wins in 15 matches, edging out Kedah by 2 points to claim the M-League title. The Lions then had an 11-match unbeaten run in the Malaysia Cup, in which they came from behind 3 times to salvage vital draws.
I think the semi-final was a high-pressured one because playing Selangor,
Selangor is always our rival. We beat a very strong Selangor team.
Ken Warden was on the opposite side. That was another motivation for us to prove him wrong.
So I remember after the game, you know what he told me? He said, David, I regret calling you back.
The stage was set. Singapore would face Pahang in the Malaysia Cup final at the Shah Alam Stadium in Selangor on December 17th, 1994. It will be Singapore's 41st match in a grueling 8-month season.
When we came into the stadium, the whole team was shocked to see all the red jerseys and flag of Singaporeans.
Absolutely amazing. I'd never ever forget just the roar, the noise.
Till today I can feel it. We cannot disappoint our fans, so we have to win by hook or by crook. We got to fight. You see how Kade tackles, Saswani the tackle, really we were like a real lion.
We don't panic. But if let's say we can't get the first goal, it will be very difficult for us to come back. But the boys believe each other.
The first goal, Saswa's got a good cross on him, and nobody saw me making the late run. So it was just a perfect flick by Nazri for me to take it on my thigh, and of course, half scissor kick or whatever you want to call it, volley, straight into the roof of the net. It was a great team goal.
Once the first goal went in, the body language, the confidence all went up.
Yeah, we were under pressure, and what we've been good at all throughout the years in transition, and it was a transitional moment. It was a perfect moment. Manhon picked up the ball, and straight away he gave it to me because he saw me on the run. Okay, I'll play it into Fundi, and I'll run off Fundi, and that's that telepathic understanding between myself and Fundi all throughout our career.
When you train with him every day, you know that what type of ball he wants, how he runs. We use eye contact. I want the ball where they put, I will go.
He knows where I will run, and I know where he runs. I made my run into the box, and he knew I'd be in the box there. But the ball was just absolutely brilliant, and it was just an easy finish at the end for me. That year, I think we scored almost 60 goals between us, and it's not just about me and Fundi. I mean, it's a whole team contribution.
The first goal came in, second goal, third goal.
It was a great pass by Silverage. All 3 of us were running at the same pace, but the first touch was very, very crucial just to put me ahead of the 2 CBs. So look, I stayed very calm, and you have to be calm in those situations because you can easily blaze the ball over the bar.
We know already, we're going to get the cup.
Fundi, and he always believes he can score, and it was on the 17th of December. I think I was too tired to run, to be honest with you. It was a long way to go, and I had to hit him. But what a great touch by him. I mean, for him to take it on his chest, away from the defender, his second touch driving into the box, and to finish it with his left foot in the far post. It was a beautiful, beautiful goal. Hey, look, it doesn't matter who scores. We wanted to win. We really wanted to do well. It was a team effort that won the double for us.
Finally, 14 years of waiting, finally over.
I mean, different time, different era, different type of football. If you are not a footballer, you think, it's easy, all this. kampung football. It's not easy.
We felt so happy. At last, we bring back the cup after 14 years.
There's only 2 players that play in that team, myself and David. And I scored that winning goal in 1980.
The team celebrated and also celebrated with the fans.
We went back to the National Stadium, to celebrate the cup.
Our win is the fans' win, it's the country's win.
For me, is to live the cup is like, this is like a childhood dream.
That's my only wish, that Singapore football can come back to that 90 atmosphere.
We have our training here, the old Jalan Besar Stadium, and you can see a few hundred fans, at this grandstand watching us train.
We can't even go home sometimes. Every day the newspaper is always publishing us. A good 14 to 16 pages of it. Sign, autograph, take picture.
We always oblige. So that's very important for the fans.
It was one of the most amazing nights of my career, that's for sure. I'm in Australia, I'm from the Middle East, and I end up being in Singapore playing with one of the most important players, icons, in Singapore. That player becomes my best friend. Malik, like a second brother to me. I ended up naming my second son, Malik, after Malik Awab, who are very, very dear to me. We treat each other like family. We'll always be family for life.
Some of the fans, 30 years on, they still recognize us.
When I go out now, people still recognize me and call me a super sub.
When they see us, they also talk about the 94 team. This is one of the things that I really treasure it a lot.
Pretty much everybody in that 94 team is family to me.
That was one of the best historical moments for our local football.
It's an incredible story. To win everything together, and especially win the double, you can't get more special than that.
David Lee is safe as a bag.
Both hearts tougher than the Russian tank. Kade, the shadow will chase and slide. Manon is pure dynamite. Navi the terror and the danger man.